gentlemen. Welcome to Team Fitz Gaming. And another Friday Night Lights edition here at Kansas Motor Speedway for the tomorrow's Racing League. Kansas 125. Just like every week, if you'd like to watch, you'd like to catch any of the content going up, or if you'd like to follow along in the racing broadcast here at Team Fitz Gaming, make sure you give us a follow at Team Fitz Gaming, F-I-T-T-S, on Twitter. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow on the channel. As 15 or so of tomorrow's Racing League's best drivers get ready for qualifying here at Kansas Motor Speedway. A lot of fast cars and hot tempers tonight on this Friday night. Want to welcome everybody joining. We appreciate you following along. Can't wait to bring another mediocre broadcast your way. Again, if you'd like to join tomorrow's Racing League, or if you've if you followed us before, watched any of our races before, definitely take a look at iRacing.com and do a search in the league directory for tomorrow's Racing League. This league is actively looking for members and top quality racing. And if you're interested in, I would say, a solid rated R Discord activity, this is the league for you. Okay, so make sure you grab your drinks. Gonna go under the lights here for 125 laps at Kansas Motor Speedway. Just as we get done, or just as soon as we get done with qualifying here on Team Fitz Gaming. All right, gamers, and we're back here at Team Fitz Gaming. We're going to give a talk. We're going to talk to league owner. We're going to talk to league owner and driver Mason. What's going on, Mason? Yeah, we really do. I know we're going to have a nice 125 laps here at Kansas Motor Speedway, and it looks like everybody's going to be pretty quick if we can keep all four tires moving in a straight line. So earlier I was plugging the league and talking about some of the top-notch drivers and interesting banter that occurs. Why don't you give us some insight in how could anybody that's watching this broadcast join the league?
Recommend going to the actual league directory and searching our name. That's going to be the easiest.
So, yeah, absolutely, and probably the most helpful thing out of all that is you were probably muted for about half your speech. So, just to summarize, guys, and I apologize about that, Mason was saying, just iRacing.com, check the league directory and do a search for tomorrow's racing league with apostrophe S, and that'll get you the fastest way of joining up and joining some pretty fun drivers here with tomorrow's racing league. I know you got to get going here, get ready to grid, Mason. Good luck, and maybe we'll be talking to you a little bit later, Daddy.
Hopefully. We'll see how it goes. I appreciate it. Thanks for the broadcast, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was Mason Mangum, a league owner and operator here at tomorrow's racing league. One of the part of the stand-up cast of characters and staff here at the league, and is super excited to be on board and broadcasting their late races live here on Team Fitz Gaming. Getting ready to go underway as our drivers grid up, get ready to conquer this amazingly bumpy Kansas Motor Speedway. Take a look at our grid as they get ready to roll. As our drivers get ready, rolling off a pit road tonight. Starting on the front row, a guy that we've been talking about several times over the last couple weeks, and managed to put together some very consistent runs, running high in the top 5 every week. Actually, as our driver's about to get underway here. The number 1 machine, Ryan Worley. Then the 03, Nick Lavelle. In the front row, Seth Noel, Tyler Zimmerman rounding out your top 4, and then Jacob Walker making your top 5 as we go green here at Kansas Motor Speedway for 125 laps under the lights for for tomorrow's Racing League. 2 wide, 3 wide now. Back down to 2 wide, going down into turn 1. The middle and the high groove here seems to be the preferred line as everybody starts to get sorted out. Now 3 wide for the lead, coming down across the stripe. Seth Noel, Nicholas Lavelle, Ryan Worley, all fighting for that top spot as Seth Noel slides up to the top, pulling Nick Lavelle along that high groove. Tyler Zimmerman now challenging Ryan Worley in that 11 machine. Moving on up into P3. Seth Noel looks like he's taking a commanding lead as he's starting to pull away from Nick Lavelle in that 03. Ryan Worley now fall back to P4. Frank Orsini now up to P4 as Ryan falls to P5. We have the daddy in the 310 machine. Mason having some good fun tonight. Up to P6. Bob Cunningham, P7 in the 99 machine. We want to welcome Antonio Bianchi? Antonio, I apologize. I'm probably really butchering that. Welcome to tomorrow's Racing League. Currently running P8, a top 10 so far out of 13 machines still running in this race. Back in the front, Seth Noel putting on a show as he's starting to pull away. Seth has managed to, he's fast every week. At every track, it's just consistently putting it together and keeping it together during the long runs. That'll definitely help his ability to close out these finishes. 1 win already this season. I really wouldn't be surprised to see him contest for the P1 position all night long. Another guy, pretty consistent up here is these two machines of Nicholas Lavelle. Tyler Zimmerman. Tyler up on the high side, Nick Lavelle on the bottom. Tyler got a pretty high there. He should have had a much bigger run, and here it comes as he comes down the front stretch. Crosses the stripe to start lap number 6 at Kansas Motor Speedway. Looks like Nick Lavelle is gonna fall back behind him, settle into P3. Ryan Worley now back up to P4, falling all the way back to P6 from the front row. Just under 7 laps. One of the machines that I'm sure we'll be talking about a couple times tonight, and somebody we've been talking about in the past as well, Sheldon Atkins, and that number 42 Chevrolet had some technical difficulties leading up just up to the beginning of the race. He managed to squeak in and currently running P7. Just behind the daddy machine of that, or just behind that Chevy Camaro of Sir Mason Daddy. Seth Noel essentially just way out. Okay, I don't know how else to put this. 2.116 second lead over second place Tyler Zimmerman. However, Nick Lavelle and Tyler still fighting for that P2 position. It looks like they've switched spots here. Nick Lavelle trying that high side. Coming out of 1 and 2 is Tyler really checking up coming out of the corner there. I'm not sure what happened. He may have got loose there. That brings Ryan Worley back up to P3. Again, starting on the front row tonight. Ryan fell all the way back to 6th and working his way back up to the front with just 10 laps complete, or just 9 laps complete here at Kansas Motor Speedway of 125. Caution free so far. Makes you wonder where that caution is going to come from, because this group, you know, they have a habit for going for broke every single lap. Let's talk the quick mover here. Sheldon Atkins now up to P6. And then our new guy, Antonio, now up to P7, up from P8. Bob Cunningham falling back now to P8. Looks like Daddy Mason there falling back pretty consistently here. I'm not sure what's going on with his machine back now. I actually just passed Bob there for P8. Wonder if those extra decals on his car got him a little tight at the start of the race. One guy I'm pretty surprised to see all the way at the back. Here's Jacob Walker. consistently fast everywhere we go. Struggling just a little bit tonight. And of course, the always entertaining David Williams machine back there at P11, knocking on the door to the top 10. Back up to second place there, Nick Lavelle. Looks like he is over. Looks like he's yeah, that's right, because Tyler Zimmerman fell back just a few laps ago after exiting turn 2. Looks like he got loose there. Trying to run down that 33 machine of Seth Noel. However, Seth is maintaining a 2.199 second lead over second place. He is completely checked out on the field. Looks like the top 10 is now about 10 seconds spread apart. Everybody's single file and gotten settled in. Talking to some of my drivers tonight, just before the race, a lot of these guys advised that this car has gotten super loose, or I'm sorry, super tight as they run through the run. And right about now, it's probably reaching the point of its tightest condition, coming up just past 13 laps, or up to 13 laps. And it's getting to the point where it's probably about the tightest it's going to get, and it'll start freeing up as we hit about lap 20-25 here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Again, all caution-free laps, and Seth Noel checked out on the field so far tonight. Again, if you'd like to join tomorrow's racing league, go to iRacing.com, check the league directory, do a search for tomorrow's with apostrophe S racing. Make sure you get joined up for what typically is action-packed, fantastic racing here. And I tell you what, these guys, if you've watched any of the previous broadcasts, and don't let Kansas be any indication of it, but man, do they manage to put on a show. Let's run on board that 310 machine of Daddy Mason as he modulates that throttle coming down to turn 2 up onto the backstretch, trying to chase down Frank Orsini for that P6 position as he winds out of it at enter and in, getting back into it there right between 3 and 4, all the way up against that wall, and then scooping it back down as they come across the stripe here. David Williams taking it to him now. Right on board with David. I knew it wouldn't be too long before we were talking about him, all the way from P11 just less than 5 laps ago up to P7. So he makes that pass on Mason. They're side by side going down into turn 1. David running a lane higher on entry, but then comes down in front of Mason. Or, I'm sorry, David. Yeah, David coming down in front of Mason. There we go. Looks like they're going to settle in. David's on his way to the front there. Makes me wonder if David was saving a little bit of his stuff until we got later in the run where he knew everybody was going to be pushing a little tight, and they're probably wearing some tires down and starting to break loose now. Lap 18. David set sail now. 0.6 of a second in front of P8. Let's take a look at the front. Two guys that I'm sure we will be talking about again and again tonight. Seth Noel, Nick Lavelle. Nick is running Seth down now, just 0.7 of a second. He has worn him down from over a 2-second lead now. Nick bringing it hard to Seth. 0.3 of a second. He's gaining quick here. Going to be challenging him fairly quick, probably into turn 1. Nope, they're going to get him at the stripes, side by side, 2 wide for the lead. Nick Lavelle coming out of nowhere in the last 2 or 3 laps, completing that pass on the low side, putting Seth Noel back into P2. Nick taking the lead on lap 20 here at Kansas Motor Speedway. If you like the racing you're seeing here, this fight for the lead at Kansas Motor Speedway is, whoa, Nick gets a little loose. Seth goes real high. I wonder, Seth really looked like he got in the wall there. Holy cow. As they cross the stripe, Seth takes the lead back from Nick. Pretty good commanding lead out now as he rolls into turn 1. Some tough fighting here at the front. If you would like to join this racing, or if you would like to see or to continue watching some of this action-packed stuff here at Team Fitz Gaming, make sure you give us a follow on Twitter at Team Fitz Gaming. Get live notifications of when we're going live and what the content we're posting at that moment. Up-to-the-minute updates there, as well as make sure you like, subscribe, follow, comment, all that stuff there on YouTube. Look for us, Team Fitz Gaming. Get updated whenever we post new videos. Go ready to go live for streams. It's a good Friday night pastime, waiting for the rest of the races to kick off for the weekend. Seth Noel there, after Nick coming up through the field, puts him back into P3. Seth is now back out to that commanding almost 1 second lead. Makes you wonder who was playing with who there. Was Seth testing out his car to see how long or how far he had to fall back to get back up to the front, or was Nick just trying to see what kind of equipment he had, waiting for a later in the race? As we're coming up on lap 24 of 125, all green flag racing, which is pretty awesome. And that 42 machine of Sheldon Atkins now up to P4. What's it going to be long until we've seen him in the top 5? And boy, is he there. I think he'll be dicing it up with Seth, Ryan, and Nicholas here in just a few laps. Frank Orsini now, P5. And then David Williams up in that P6 position. Didn't expect David to be up here, going to be honest with you. And nice to see him have a good run. Let's see if he can just close it out. One guy we really didn't expect to see all the way in the back where he's at, that's for sure. It's that Tyler Zimmerman 11 machine falling all the way back now to P10. Tyler's just having a rough go of it here tonight. Hopefully he can get it back on track and get back up towards the front where he belongs after starting in the top 5. Just 25 laps or so ago. Let's take a look for the battle for P3 here. Now here we go. Yep, P3. Nick Lavelle running Ryan Worley down for P2. It's right on board that Nick Lavelle machine. Whoa! Nick makes a pass through the tribal grass, coming back up the track. Can he not hit anybody? What happened there? We were trying to hunt down some buttons. That probably didn't make it sound too professional, did it? Race number 3 at Kansas Motor Speedway. Nick Lavelle now falling back. Looks like he got real loose there coming out of 4. Managed to not bring it up on the track into anybody. Up to P3 now. Sheldon Atkins in that 42 Chevrolet machine. Got that puppy up in the top 3. Let's see what he can do for the remainder of the evening. Sheldon will either bring it home in victory lane, or he'll just bring you the steering wheel back. There's probably not going to be any in between tonight here at Kansas. Nick Lavelle trying to recoup from that mistake he made there coming out of turn 4 and chasing down Sheldon Atkins for that P4 machine. Or that P4 positioned machine. That 42 car of Sheldon Atkins. Tyler Zimmerman now running down the 4 machine of John Long back for P9. Taking it on the inside there on the backstretch. So he completes that pass going into turn 3. John's not going to give him too much of a contest there for that position. John's going to follow the line, just do what he can to save up his stuff and finish the race at the end of the night. Coming up on lap 30 here at Kansas Motor Speedway. You gotta know, most of these drivers are at this point screaming for some tires. Sheldon Atkins, Nicholas Lavelle back to the front here, fighting side by side for P2 across the stripe. Nicholas trying to complete that pass on the bottom. Sheldon not giving it them quite yet, running about a half a lane higher, sucking up right to the rear end of Nicholas Lavelle in that 03 AC Delco machine. 42's not done, sitting in the draft, going down the backstretch, down into turn 3, still riding about half a lane higher. And it looks like Nick's got a strong car tonight, having a couple different issues there and managed to come back from P4 just 3 or 4 laps ago. Now side by side again going into turn 1. There's the caution. Oh man, where was our caution at? I wonder. Ah, no. And that 310 machine of Mason Daddy Mangum looks like he had some issues coming out of the tri-oval there. I'm sure that stemmed back from half a lap or so ago. As he gets caught up passing the pace car, that's going to bring everybody back up to the leader. Seth Noel in the 33 machine. It's also going to give everybody an opportunity to make some adjustments on these cars and take some new tires. 33 laps in, first caution here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Welcome back, racers and gamers. Sean with Team Fitz Gaming. We're gonna get ready to have a chat with our leader, who is currently running. I'm sorry, Seth Noel, who is currently actually came to the caution as the leader. Let's see if we can get him down here and talk to us. Get him on the radio and talk to us for just a second. Actually, just waiting for our our radios to get working here. That would be helpful. There we go. And hey, Seth, it's Sean in the booth. You got a copy, bud?
I hear you loud and clear.
Hey, bud. So talk about your car tonight. It looks like you've got a machine. It looks like a couple guys are having a hard time keeping up with you.
Yeah, team put a good car together this week, and been able to get that clean air. Once you get in the clean air, you can ride your lane, not have to worry about anyone else. And we were able to pull away on that run.
Yeah, absolutely. And at some points, over a 3-second lead, I think the only guy that you're going to have problems with tonight is maybe that 03 machine of Nick Lavelle. Sheldon Atkins in the 42 came up strong. Do you think you got something to stay up front?
Oh yeah, we've got something to easily stay up front. Just got to hit our marks and hit everything on pit road, unlike that last one.
Gotcha, bud. All right, well, listen, good luck. I'm sure we'll probably be talking to you a little bit later in the race. I know you're getting ready to go green, so we'll catch you later.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks. Now, Seth Noel there in the 33. Looks like he had a few struggles on pit road. As we get ready to go back to green here at Kansas Motor Speedway. It gets bunched up too wide. Coming down the backstretch. Going to catch the green flag here in just a moment. Again, a reminder, if you'd like to join the league, head to iRacing.com. Do a search in the league directory. Oh, excuse me, do a search in the league directory for tomorrow's racing league. Nick Lavelle bringing him up on the high side, bringing him up back to the green flag. Pace cars off. Head down pit road. Green flag here at Charlotte Motor. I'm sorry, not Charlotte, Kansas Motor Speedway. Lap number 37, Nick Lavelle pulling out to a strong lead. Looks like we're going to have 3 wide or 2 wide racing now back in the pack. They're fighting for that top 5 as Nick Lavelle checks out on Ryan Worley. Still 2 wide. Back from P3 and on. As we just got done talking to him, Seth Noel is going to put a run on him here real quick with these new tires. I'm sure he's going to be eager to get right back. Oh no! Seth Noel gets loose coming out of turn 4. Falls all the way back to the back of the field. Man, we spoke too soon. He had a piece on his way back to the front, utilizing them fresh tires, but another fight here. There's going to be fights all over the track now here for the next 5 or so laps. So keep up with me. Sheldon Atkins in the 42 machine putting pressure on P2. Ryan Worley backed up to where he started on the front row of this race. Putting in a strong run. Now putting a little bit of a gap back to Sheldon Atkins. Tyler Zimmerman passing Frank Orsini. Looks like he's going to complete that pass. Maybe not, as they're going to go side by side down into turn 3. Tyler's going to have the preferred line with a little bit more momentum coming out of it. Let's see if he can turn it into a clean pass. No, it actually looks like he got a little tight. Drifted up. Still side by side coming across the stripe with Frank in that P4 position in that lap. Still side by side now. Tyler running a little bit of a higher line. Should have the momentum coming off down the backstretch. It just depends if he can make that stick, and he does now as he makes the run on the outside of Frank Orsini. Now going into turn 3, Frank's going to go back to the bottom. Tyler has gotten really comfortable with that new VR headset he's working with and riding that top line as he's now going to have that P4 position coming across the stripe. Let's take a look at actually, let's take a look right here. This is going to be our next battle. It's going to be Tyler Zimmerman and Frank Orsini going to be fighting Sheldon Atkins in the 42 machine. Looks like the high line's starting to really come in. Everybody's especially on entry. As Nick Lavelle has checked out. Now 1.5 second lead over P2 Ryan Worley. Let's take a look again at our leader at the caution there, and the guy we talked to during the break, Seth Noel. Working his way back to the front. Back up to P8. Seth Noel running P2 times. The only guy faster on the track is Nick Lavelle. A 6.8 to a 5.7. We've got a car in the grass. John Long. Who was that back there? Is that John, I believe? The car in the grass there in the tri-oval there. No caution is out. Lap number 43. There we go. Sheldon Atkins looks like he's going to try to complete the pass there. Tyler Zimmerman trying to fight him for the pass on that top side. Tyler's really liking that top line. As they go across the stripe 2 wide. So we get about 10 laps into this run. The car should be tightening up for our drivers just a little bit. It's going to add to, I think it's going to add favor to a higher line, especially down in 1 and 2. Tyler Zimmerman now pulling out. Back up to P3. Setting some eyes on Ryan Worley in that one machine. Just over a second. Just over a second there up in P2. Tyler's been doing really well. Well, there's our caution. Oh, the sixth machine of Frank Orsini looks like he got loose again. That turn 4 has been treacherous for these drivers tonight here at Kansas Motor Speedway as he brings out our second caution. Lap number 46. Here, team Kansas Motor Speedway, Friday night 125 on Team Fitz Gaming. These drivers get ready to go back green flag racing here after making some pit stops under that caution. Man, Friday night, it has been a long week, and you can tell. Want to talk to that man who came out number 1 in the pits, and actually, there we go. Let's talk to Nick Lavelle. Came out number 1 in the pits and number 1 in our hearts. Nick, you got a copy?
I got a copy. What's up?
Hey, buddy. So, it looks like you got a little loose earlier. You're fighting that car, but still at the front. How's it feeling?
Oh, yeah, when the tires get broken, it's like driving a wreck bucket of crap. So we'll see how it plays out. It's fun, though.
Yeah, it actually looks like it's slick. Is it still tightening up in the first 20 laps of the run?
Yeah, it gets tight, and then it gets insanely loose.
All right. Well, you can definitely tell, and it looks like the cliche breeding cautions is a true thing. So hopefully we can stay green here for a few laps.
Yeah, that'd be nice so I can break away.
Yeah. While you're getting ready to go back green here, I understand that, but who do you think's got something for you? I know Seth Noel was pretty fast early, but he's got back in that dirty air. It looks like he's having some trouble coming back.
Honestly, it's going to be whoever can keep it going straight. All it's going to take is the leader to mess up bad, which is going to happen, I'm sure, and then it's the door's open for anybody.
Well, I hate to tell you, bud, you're the leader right now, so...
Oh, trust me, I know. I know it's coming.
Well, we'll be keeping an eye. Thanks, Nick.
All right, thanks, man.
That was Nick Lavelle. That 03 machine, always good for some intense racing. And as our drivers get ready to go back green here at Kansas Motor Speedway, about to send Charlotte there again. Can you tell it's been a long week? Again, week number 3, race number 3 of the Xfinity B class cars here at tomorrow's Racing League. If you'd like to join, make sure you go to iRacing.com. Do a search for tomorrow's 'S Racing League in the league directory. Send an invite. Be more than happy to get you on board. Action-packed racing every night of the week here. Typically, somewhere you're going to find a fun race with a bunch of a good group of guys. Let's be honest, and you will always be able to come here and escape and have a little bit of fun. The pace car pulls off one more time here at Kansas Motor Speedway.
Green flag, green flag.
Green flag, lap number 51 of 125. Nick Lavelle at a commanding start, pulling away there. It's Ryan Worley fighting for that second position. Too wide on back. Looks like the 310 machine of Mason Daddy fighting with David Williams. That's a common occurrence right there. Coming out of turn 2, side by side. David in the preferred line going into turn 3. Tyler Zimmerman falling all the way back to P7. Looks like we're going to have a little bit of 3-wide racing coming out of turn 4. David Williams thinks better of it, backs down, lets him go by. Mason Daddy now coming across the stripe. Tyler Zimmerman now passing it as well. Looks like they're going to get single file. Get back underway here. Oh, we've had a lead change, ladies and gentlemen. What happened there? Seth Noel out of nowhere back up to P1 in that 33 machine. Man, Nick Lavelle was not kidding when he said you've got to be careful as a leader here, because if you're not, you're going to have somebody hot on your tail. And it looks like Seth Noel made a pass there. That had to be for the age. Just about to go back and look at that here. Replay in just a minute. Still sorting it out. We don't want to pass up any of the action. Sheldon Atkins in the 42 Chevrolet. Now looking in the inside of P2. Thought better of it. Tucks back in behind Nick Lavelle going into turn 3. Tyler Zimmerman, as we were talking just a minute ago, was way back there. About P7, P8. Now pretty much leaves Ryan Worley standing still going into turn 4. As he looks like he's going to complete the pass as he takes the way bottom line at the trioval coming across the stripe. Ryan Worley, I tell you what, this kid is resilient, if not anything else. He's going to move back to the back, but I tell you what, in about 5 laps, you're going to see him back to the front if he follows the same pattern he's been running earlier in the evening. Cycles back and then comes right back to the top 3. Can't wait to see him make that fight one more time. Mason Daddy there, P6, and that 310 machine. Gonna look on the inside of Ryan Worley now. Try to crack into the top 5. Comes back, files back in line. We're not missing anything up at the front. Seth Noel now checking out 0.2 of a second lead on Nick Lavelle. Well, these two, we hear something about these two every single night we're racing here at tomorrow's Racing League and Team Fitz Gaming. Another character, though, again, as I said earlier, he's going to be in the top 5 every race, as long as he can keep the wheels under it. He's going to either bring you back a steering wheel or a trophy, but nothing else, as he runs the really high line there, cycling into 1 and 2. I'm sorry, 3 and 4 coming to the line. Looks like some 2 wide racing back here. As Ryan Worley continues to fall back now to P6 as Mason Daddy cracks into the top 5. Welcome to the top 5, Daddy boy. A little bit of an inside joke there, guys, for tomorrow's Racing League. And if you want to know about that inside joke or want to just come enjoy some great camaraderie, or make sure you want to come and, or if you want to come and join a great group of racers and have a little bit of fun, this is the place to do it right here at Team Fitz Gaming. Nick Lavelle running down our leader now, Seth Noel. Reeled him in now. Less than a second there, that last lap. Nick Lavelle running a faster lap time as he's back in the 5s, with Seth Noel almost in the 7s. We're at lap number 58. Going about 8 laps into this green flag run. If a pattern is any indication of what's going on, these guys are starting to tighten up pretty hard. Nick Lavelle running a little bit of a higher line just to do the crossover to try to get under the inside of Seth Noel. We watch the race for the lead here. And as I said a little bit earlier, Ryan Worley on the inside now of Mason Daddy Mangum. Coming out of turn 4. Ryan's not in the preferred line there. He'll probably get set up the next lap. Let's go back to the front, where Nick reeled in our leader. Didn't look like he could do too much with it there. Within just 0.2 of a second away. Still running them down. Got a good run out of turn 2. Nick just driving by him on the inside. Seth Noel's going to have the preferred line. He's going to have a little bit more momentum coming out of 4. They're going to be side by side as they enter the tri-oval here. And pulling out on the outside once again, Seth Noel with that preferred high line. As the longer we go in this race, it looks like the high line is just going to be the place to be. And as you see, Nick Lavelle falls in line behind, or Nick Lavelle falls in behind there, Seth Noel. So we take a look here again. That one machine of Ryan Worley starting to get turned back on again as he fell back all the way to P6. Fighting with Mason Mangum for that, knocking on the door to that P5 position again. As I said a little bit earlier, they'll be fighting all the way back up to the top 3 before this tire runs out if we stay green. We work our way on back to the pack. David Williams in that 13 machine now. Cycle back to P8. Alexander Brock, first time mentioning him tonight. That 53 Chevrolet Camaro. Cycled all the way back to P9. John Long, who tends to fall back a little bit, but will be there at the end. Currently rounding out your top 10. Going back to the front here, and again, guys, this action-packed racing here provided by tomorrow's Racing League. Nick Lavelle run down your leader. 9/100ths of a second right on his bumper. Nick Lavelle that last lap putting together a fantastic lap of a 29.574 to the leader's 681. Seth has got that high line buckled in, and as he spoke to at the first caution, he's got that nice clean air that he just thrives under, especially with that mid to high line he runs. Nick now trying to make that pass, but Seth is going to have that preferred high line unless Nick slides up to block him. Doesn't look like he's going to, and Seth's going to come out of turn 4. They're going to come back to the stripe, side by side, and again, Seth Noel making that outside line work for him tonight. Man, that outside line is strong. I told you guys, side-by-side racing is what it's about here at tomorrow's Racing League and Team Fitz Gaming on YouTube. And you're definitely getting that side-by-side action for the lead between these two drivers, Seth Noel, Nick Lavelle, putting it on a strong show. 65 laps into this 125 here at Kansas Motor Speedway. First through third now. Starting to tighten up quite a bit. 0.7 of a second closes up all of the top three, and then 3 seconds back is P4 of Tyler Zimmerman. Not going to take away from this lead, though. Nick Lavelle's got the preferred high line coming out of turn 3, or turn 4. Is he going to be able to finish that pass off? It looks like he is. New leader, Nick Lavelle in the 03 AC Delco machine. Looks like he's going to be able to pull out just a little bit there and set pace. Seth Noel's going to work on getting settled in and reeling him back. Sheldon Atkins just asking these guys to continue that side-by-side action, because if he can get back up there, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Out of nowhere, P4 again, Tyler Zimmerman. Back where he started this race tonight. He's also one of the top liners here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Really enjoys that top line. Off in the distance, Ryan Worley in the P5 machine, or in the 5th place machine, the number 1. Slowly creeping it back up there. So we come up on 20 laps in this green flag run. Your leader, Nick Lavelle, now up to a 2nd lead, followed by P2 of Seth Noel. This is about that time these drivers have been starting to complain. This car gets snappy loose. Nick Lavelle had a little slip. It didn't look like he got off of turn 2 very well there. It almost looked like he got in the wall just a bit. I'm not 100% sure. Sheldon Atkins still sitting back there in P3. Ryan Worley now starting to add pressure to that 11 machine of Ryan Zimmerman, or Tyler Zimmerman. Again, running consistent lap times. Every lap, Tyler just about a 10th faster. However, Ryan tends to come on late in the run. Seems to save up his tires just a little bit, and everybody else starts to fall back as they push fighting these loose condition cars. Just past 20 laps into this green flag run. Seth Noel now managed to reel in our leader by 0.2. And that last lap, Nick Lavelle, though, is still putting on a blistering pace. As you can tell, the tires have fallen off now with a 31.436 to Seth Noel's 486. 5 100s faster. I want to apologize now, just because looking at my scoring, it looks like my best lap times are mixed up with my last lap time. So those 6.81s to 5.4 or 5.74s were best lap times overall in the race. My apologies. However, it doesn't change the fact that Nick Lavelle putting it on pretty good. One guy that's been, that again, is the class of the field right this second, running faster than the lap times of the leaders by 0.2. Ryan Worley in that P4 is coming back now to the top 3. Told you, if he can keep it together, there could be a long run. We may have an unexpected upset in that number 1 machine. Ryan Worley in that number 1 now, the fastest car on the track by 0.2 of a second. We hit lap number 75 of 125 here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Well past halfway, hit that halfway mark. Handful of cautions here early, however, looks like these guys are going to spread it out. We may have a long run on our hands. Ryan Worley must have heard us talking about him there. That last lap being a 31.623, slowed down just a little bit to the guy in the P3 position, Sheldon Atkins now, who's still managing 0.4 times to the leader's 0.3. Not too bad. Everybody else is checked out in the 6 and 7s. Nick Lavelle, as he said earlier, it's tough being the leader here at Kansas Motor Speedway because you just got to be consistent every single lap, and clean air is so important. Without that clean air, you were definitely going to be fighting a different type of car. Seth Noel can attest to that. After falling back, he's not been able to get up to the lead, not be able to complete that pass. He works his way through that middle groove, coming out of turn 4. Let's ride on board with our leader. Let's see how he's putting together these quick laps here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Not out of the throttle long, and you see him really rounding out the bottom of that corner, coming out of turn 4. All the way to the bottom now, coming across the stripe. I'm not even sure he's completely out of the throttle there in 1 and 2. What a really good run out of there. Seth Noel has backed it up quite a bit. Back to second now, 2 seconds back. Nick Lavelle. Nick Lavelle running some of the faster lap times of this 10-lap segment. Still running 31.3s to everybody else's 31.6s and 7s. Let's go on board that 42 machine of Sheldon Atkins as he makes a strong run on the inside of Seth Noel. Gonna make that run again there on the bottom. Seth Noel has that preferred line coming out of turn 3. Gonna pull out with the momentum if Sheldon. Actually, Sheldon may hold him off here. Sheldon did. That's the first time we've seen that bottom groove really work for a driver to be able to complete the pass down to the start-finish line. Sheldon Atkins up to P2 now. He's gonna set sail. See if he can get up to get up to that Nicholas Lavelle on that 03 AC Delco machine. Start running him down. Sheldon Atkins running identical lap times to our leader that last lap. Let's go on board some of the, a little bit more of the action here in the back of the pack. The number 1 machine, Ryan Worley. Looks like Tyler Zimmerman was able to complete that pass back on him. Ryan's still in the top 5. Doesn't have as strong of a car as he did earlier. Interested to see if he's able to put something together. Back in the front, your leaders, or your P1 and P2 drivers, Nick Lavelle, Sheldon Atkins, putting together a strong run here. However, Sheldon, he is running identical lap times to the leader right now. Still actually able to close by a couple 100ths each lap. Now that timing doesn't sound right, but I assure you, they're running really tight lap times. 31.78 to 31.77s. That gap now 2.5 seconds back to P1 or back to P2. Sheldon's gonna have to figure something out to start chiseling away a little bit more as we get a little bit further into screen flag run. Now at this point, talking to some of the drivers during the pre-race, talking to some of the drivers under caution. When it gets spread out like this and you get 30, 20, 25, 30 laps on a green flag run on these tires, man, and the car starts to get a little squirrely. Turn 4 tonight has claimed several drivers, not even under caution, but just in general spins tonight. We'll be keeping an eye out for that because turn 4 certainly slippery tonight, especially on those worn tires. Looks like that Ford machine of John Long now 2 laps down. Sheldon Atkins works to put that lap traffic back behind him. Nick Lavelle still running the fastest lap times of the race. You can tell the tire difference here. David Williams, that last lap, ran a 29.871 to the leader's 31.58. 0.7 of a second faster. David is a lap down. Looks like he took tires a few laps ago, but he is moving. That'd be interesting to see if there's a caution here as he makes his way past that car. If there's going to be a caution here later, does David stay out? Or does he have the opportunity to take a wave around? We'll have to see how all that flies, as he's now not in sync with the strategy of everybody else. Our leader in the 03 AC Delco machine, Nicholas Lavelle, sets sail 3 seconds back to 42 of Sheldon Atkins. Seth Noel back to P3. Ryan Worley back up to P4. Again, that kid, if he could just be consistent and ride here for a little bit, could come out of here with another, or come out of here with a top 5. Be a good run for him tonight. Tyler Zimmerman rounding out your top 5 there in P5. Mason Mangum, aka Daddy, tonight here on iRacing, running P6 to Frank Orsini in P7. Alexander Brock in P8. Alexander actually just hit pit road. I wonder if he's heard what everybody else has heard about those tires and wanted to see if he could get him a fresh set of Goodyears on that Chevrolet. So he heads down pit road, going to go a lap down, but it may be worth it depending on how bad the tire fall off here is. Sheldon Atkins now down pit road. Let's go on board with Sheldon. He's in his pit stop there, or pit box there. Sheldon has had a couple struggles getting on and off pit road. Looks like he's waiting for his service to get completed on the left side there. Go on board with our second place position now. Nick Lavelle, or I'm sorry, Seth Noel, I apologize. Nick Lavelle P1, Tyler Zimmerman now rounding out your top 3. Gap to your top 5s over 20 seconds with many drivers taking those fresh Goodyears. Sheldon Atkins now, he must have some issues going on. I know he was fighting some technical difficulties earlier in the race. Ours, our leader, Nicholas Lavelle on pit road. Going to get him 4 fresh Goodyears, probably a little bit of fuel. I would hope we're probably loosening that car up just a little bit. Seth Noel there, also coming into pit road. This is going to require the entire field to come down pit road if they haven't already. What happens here, though, is David Williams is going to probably come back as our leader. As Nick Lavelle comes off of pit road with Seth Noel hot on his tracks. Let's go on board. Let's get a good camera view here of David Williams as he works his way back onto the lead lap. Currently our leader, Ryan Worley. Man, I don't know how safe this is. Everybody else is going to have fresher tires. They're going to be 7, 8, 9, 10 seconds, or 7, 8, or 9 tenths of a second faster than this guy right here who took tires on the last caution. Everybody else has pit. Ryan now leading the race in that P1 position. 9 seconds back. This just shows you how fast these cars are here with new tires. Nick Lavelle is going to run him down really quick here. Going to pass him on the inside like he's standing still to race his way back to the lead lap. Ryan Worley now. Let's take a look at our lap times. Nick Lavelle now just crossing the stripe. That last lap was 31.64. Ryan was 2 seconds slower. Wow. That's an incredibly big delta there that Ryan's going to have to answer to here fairly quickly if Nick Lavelle is going to come back and or if Nick Lavelle is probably going to race his way back here pretty quick. What those guys wanted to see was a caution. Ryan Worley, Frank Orsini now P2. They wanted to see a caution there during that pit cycle to capture those guys down back a lap down. They could have stayed out and took a pit then. Ryan Williams now, everybody's a little bit off cycle here. Ryan Williams now P5. He's waiting for the leaders to pit. Nick Lavelle, Seth Noel, both have raced their way back to the lead lap. Again, that last lap delta for our leader versus the first guy with new tires, Nick Lavelle, was over 2.5 seconds. I would think the crew chief of the number 1 machine, Ryan Worley, is probably screaming on the radio telling that driver to get into the pits here soon. Frank Orsini now following right behind him, though. Probably got a similar strategy. Not sure how... There's the caution. I'm not sure that's going to benefit him, though. I'm not sure how that's going to help him. Looks like the 42 machine of Sheldon Atkins had some issues. Is he by himself? Sure looks like it. Not sure what happened there. Let's take a look and see if we can figure out. That's right. We still got to work on our graphics package here at Team Fits Gaming. Ignore that. I promise you it'll be okay. Not quite sure we're going to get what we wanted to see there either. No, we sure aren't. Yeah. Oh, man. It looks like the 42 machine probably got... Yep. Oh! A big checkup there. That Jacob Walker 72 and Sheldon just got into the wall. There's really nothing he could do. That's unfortunate. Now it's going to probably end his run into the top 5 tonight. He was putting it on pretty good. Now, obviously, these two right here, Ryan Morley, Frank Orsini in the 60, are going to have to take tires. Everybody else, they stay out. Or do they come back down and take new rubber? Some of these guys, Nick Lavelle, Seth Noel, some of these guys only have about 5 laps on their tires. Ryan and Frank come down pit road. What happens with these guys back here? Let's take a look. Yep, they're going to come in and take tires as well. This actually may play out to Ryan and Frank's hand if they can maintain that lead. If anything, we've learned tonight, track position is really key in trying to get everything lined up. That clean air has been really important. Looks like these guys hit their pit boxes pretty straight on, so I'm going to get much better than that. Seth pulls into the pits, and along with Nick there, Ryan comes back out with fresh 4 Goodyear tires. Let's see if Ryan's available to chat with us tonight. I'm sure he is, and I'm sure he's pretty excited to have four fresh tires on that machine. Hey Ryan, it's Sean in the booth, bud. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy on there, bud.
So listen, how much were you screaming for that caution while those guys were pitting?
Oh man, this thing, it was so loose. I was spraying off each corner. I hadn't already spun it.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. And it looks like Nick Lavelle and Seth and crew were able to race back for the get back on a lead lap, but you're gonna start here with some fresh rubber. Do you think you got something to hold them off?
Well, if I got fresh rubber and they don't, I think that's all I need.
Well, unfortunately, but it doesn't sound like they're gonna have any advantage because they sure pitted behind you, and it's all about probably getting back to the front.
Yeah, this could be that way for them. Man, I'm surprised that thing worked. I was gonna go to lap 100 if I had to.
All right, Ryan. Well, listen, keep a steady will. We just want to come out of here with a top 5, right? And can't wait to see what you can do with it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'd like to get the win, but top 5's the goal.
Absolutely. Thanks, Ryan.
See ya.
So, Ryan Worley in that number 1 machine, not doing a bad job. Playing to the strategy a little bit. Pulled out to a little bit of a lead. He is going to have 2 of the fastest guys starting right behind him. Nick Lavelle, Seth Noel, Frank Orsini in the 60 starting P4. He fell back in the pits a good bit. Welcome to the top 5. Number 13 machine of David Williams. He gets checked up as he gets caught up with the field. We'll go back to the front here as these drivers will get paired up side by side as they get ready to go back. Green flag racing here at Kansas Motor Speedway. They cycle through the tri-oval. Actually, it looks like we're going to have another lap as we let some wave around cycle by, and that's okay. It'll give me time to talk about a couple different things. Please make sure you're giving us a follow at Team Fitz Gaming, FITTS. Oh, there we go. Side by side is getting caught up here. At Team Fitz Gaming on Twitter, so you get notifications letting you know when we're going to go live every single week. And obviously, make sure you subscribe and hit that notification bell here on YouTube for Team Fitz Gaming. We're appreciative of Tomorrow's Racing League allowing us to broadcast and be their exclusive provider for their broadcasts on Friday and Saturday nights. Probably will be broadcasting again tomorrow night. All dependent on driver participation, so make sure you go to iRacing.com, do a search for Tomorrow's Racing League in the league directory, get joined up with this fantastic group of drivers. Everybody's friendly, helpful, ready to roll. I'll be honest with you, is he still in the race? He sure is. Sheldon Atkins, real quick, before we get going green, Sheldon Atkins in the 42, he didn't have a working computer up until about 10 minutes before green flag here at Kansas Motor Speedway, but a lot of guys teamed up to help him out tonight. Green flag back in the air here at Kansas Motor Speedway as they take lap 100. Nick Lavelle on the inside, 3 wide now for the lead, actually back to 2 wide into turn 1. Nick Lavelle on the high side trying to hold off Seth Noel. Man, Ryan Worley just trying to hang on to it. He's up there in the pack with these fast guys. He may have something if he can stay in the top 5. Race back to the lead with these guys with just, oh no, caution's out. Tyler Zimmerman in the air. Oh, Sheldon Atkins cannot catch a break. Frank Orsini involved. That was tough. That was really tough. And they're going to go ahead and come down pit road. He's going to be breaking some speed limits as he gets down here. But holy cow, again, let's talk about this top 5. Nick Lavelle, P1, Seth Noel, David Williams. Rounding out your top 3. One guy who took a gamble on those newer tires, the caution before, John Long, one of the first guys a lap down. He come in and took 4 fresh ones, able to race his way back, now back to P6. Not unfamiliar territory for John. John's typically known to stay out, or stay really late. I'm sorry, excuse me. He typically stays out far behind the field. He knows there's going to be some action here, and he knows there's going to be some interesting racing going on up front. He's always looking for an opportunity to stay out back and try and finish the race, sneak one in there in the last couple laps. So it looks like Mason Daddy Mangum took tires. John Long on pit road as well. That's going to bring Alex Brock up a little bit. Frank Orsini is also on pit road, involved in this last caution. Sheldon Atkins looks to be retired from the race tonight. That's unfortunate. That kid was putting together a strong run. Again, as we were talking, he didn't have a working computer up until about 10 minutes to go. Green flag racing here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Bunch of guys seem to have gotten him taken care of, so if you're having issues with your machine, I think there's a lesson to be learned there by Sheldon, and it's always check trading paints. So the sleeper here tonight, I think, is going to be David Williams in that 13 machine. Quietly consistent. I'm really wondering if he's got something for these two up front. Ryan Worley back at P4. We talked to him as he led that long green flag run. He's fallen back just a little bit, and we've talked about that a couple times tonight. Ryan's been quick on the long run. He's not going to have that long run, though. These guys will probably get going back to green with 21 laps to go. Ryan's not going to have that long run that he's been having over the last couple of runs. He's going to have to make something happen if he wants to contest for the lead, like he said here tonight at the Kansas 125 for tomorrow's Racing League. David Williams there with a little psych out action down pit road. Not sure who he was trying to fool, probably himself a little bit, but that's okay. As these drivers get 2 wide and ready to go for go back to the green flag here at Kansas Motor Speedway. They're gonna go green with 20 laps to go. This could be anybody's run. I will say Seth and Nick have probably got a good run on the field. These guys have been leading the race, leading most of the laps tonight. Be interesting to see if they can put it together and finish it off here. Get headed down the backstretch. Let's look at the top 5. Nick Lavelle, Seth Noel, David Williams, Ryan Worley, John Long in that P5 position again. Not a stranger to a top 5 finish, but a stranger to a top 5 finish this early. It'd be interesting to see if he could keep it clean and bring it home. That'd be a pretty good run for John. Tyler Zimmerman in that P6 position. Alex Brock in the P7 in the 53 machine alongside Mason Mangum, aka Daddy on iRacing, and Jacob Walker pulling up the rear of the field. All right, as these drivers get ready to go back green flag racing, this restart's going to get everything you can, because once it gets spread out, that's it. Green flag here, Kansas Motor Speedway, 2x2. Now going to make it 3 wide towards the back. Actually, still 2x2 there. There we go. Seth Noel all the way to the bottom, trying to take the shortest way around this track tonight. Going to take it all the way to the bottom here, turn 1 and 2. That seems to work for a few laps, but then that high side comes in super fast. Mason Mangum back there making a pass on John Long for P5, or P6 rather. Go back up to the front where Seth Noel has been able to capture, go underneath Nick Lavelle for the lead here. It's going to complete that pass, lead him down. Nick Lavelle's peeking on either side. Oh, wow. It looks like David Williams put it in the wall there going into turn 1. It looks like him and a couple other cars were pretty sideways coming across the tri-oval as we got a fight for the lead again. Nick Lavelle on the inside of Seth Noel drove by him like he was standing still. This is what Nick was talking about. If as the leader, you've got to be consistent. Where? Looks like we had a caution back here. Oh man, to David Williams. Looks like David Williams maybe taking it back down pit road had some issues. Let's take a look and see if we can find out what occurred there. Let's see if we can find out what happened with the David Williams machine. Did he just spin it there on his... No! He ended up on his roof? Going down into turn 3, David Williams... Oh, yeah, he just pushed high. Probably had some of that damage. Oh, yeah. That was a hard impact into the wall there. As he came out of turn 4 sitting sideways. Be glad that he was obviously towards the back of the field after that lap before, struggling into turn 1. Otherwise, he would have been sideways across the entire field. It looks like he's going to retire for the remainder of the evening. Looks like the leaders are coming down pit road. Yep, Seth Noel. Nick Lavelle taking tires. Tyler Zimmerman, Mason Mangum, a.k.a. Daddy, on the track. They're going to stay out. This could be a strategy call. Could they have what it takes? Yeah, it's just going to be them two out with fresh tires, man. I don't know about that call. I think that'll be interesting to see what happens as we come to the close here of the Kansas 125. Team Fitz Gaming and Tomorrow's Racing League, the exclusive, or Team Fitz Gaming, the exclusive provider of all Tomorrow Racing League's broadcast. They're probably going to go green here with about 15 to go at Kansas Motor Speedway. Welcome back. Tomorrow's Racing League and Team Fitz Gaming bringing you the Kansas 125. Race number 3 in the Xfinity B Class Series with Tomorrow's Racing League. So our drivers get ready to go back green flag racing. Get up 2 wide here, ready to go. Mason Mangum P1 starting with, followed by Tyler Zimmerman. And John Long, I'm not even sure if John took tires there in that last pit cycle. He may have not. I know for certain Nick Lavelle, Ryan Worley, Seth Noel, all those guys did take fresh tires. Is it really going to make a difference? With about 15 laps to go here at Kansas Motor Speedway, we're about to find out. This field is thinned out quite a bit. Unfortunately, we've got 8 drivers left running. David Williams, Trey Coracini, Sheldon Atkins, Antonio Bianchi, Bob Cunningham, all retiring from this 14 racer field. As we go back to the front here, Mason Mangum going to give him a run for their money with 15 laps to go, as he's going to bring them green here in just a moment. Pace car is going to check down onto that pit road one more time. I'm going to be honest, I don't know if we're done wrecking, to be very frank with you. Green flag is back out here at Kansas Motor Speedway, and they're underway again. 15 laps to go. Who's got what it takes to drive to the front? 3 wide now, going down into turn 1. Seth Noel thought about making it 4 wide, thought better of it. Mason Mangum on the top side, going to have the preferred run there. Nick Lavelle on the inside, though, trying to pull it away. Seth Noel still fighting back there. Tyler Zimmerman now getting passed by Nick Lavelle. Now Seth Noel putting pressure on him. And these two have been hot all night tonight. Nick Lavelle, Seth Noel basically stalking Mason Daddy Mangum. Well, I tell you what, it's kind of reversed. Nick Lavelle's making everybody, or he's everybody's daddy tonight. So I think Mason needs to dictate, put that title back down to Nick. As they get single file, as I say that, Tyler Zimmerman, John Long fight it out for the top 5. Again, John Long putting on an impressive run. Here tonight, going to finish in a solid top 5 if he can just keep it together. Typically a guy that hangs out towards the back, waits for everybody else to have some issues. John is putting together a good run here. Nick Lavelle now setting pace. Seth Noel taking over the P2 position from Mason Mangum. Seth Noel now about 7/10 of a second behind our leader. These racers have started to file it back a little bit, or single file it up. This is our best race here. Tyler Zimmerman. Jacob Walker. Jacob being a lap down. Looks like he's trying to race his way back up. Tyler Zimmerman, Alex Brock fighting it out. See who can get up to the highest position here as we get to the coming down to the closing laps. And that's a 125 lap race for tomorrow's Racing League. Nick Lavelle, your leader, setting sail now. 1 second, almost 1.2 seconds now out to the lead. There's our man Ryan Worley, that number 1 machine, continuously putting pressure in this top 3 group. Mason Mangum now his next target as they come across the line. Less than 10 laps to go here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Can Ryan get back up to the top 3? That'd be a pretty good position, a pretty good a finishing position for him if he can manage to get back up there. One guy we want to keep an eye on, and he's already working that high line, Seth Noel. And at 33, does he have what it takes to run down the leader, Nick Lavelle? Doing so now, he was just that last lap. They're probably not going to do it that way. Nick Lavelle, did he have a bad... What happened to Nick? Nick had a... Oh, there we go. Yep, so Seth Noel, I'm sorry, waiting for our timing to update. Seth Noel there, 0.3 of a second slower than our leader, Nick Lavelle. Tyler Zimmerman continues to fight with the 53 machine of Alexander Brock. Back for P6 and P7. Well, Nick Lavelle's set sail with that 03 AC Delco machine. Eight laps to go here, Kansas Motor Speedway. The entire field single file now. It's spanned out quite a bit, about 7 seconds from 1st to 7th. Nick Lavelle puts it in the grass coming off of turn 4. Such a long lead back to P2. He's just now catching up to him. Seth Noel taking on the inside of turn 1 there. Nick Lavelle working that crossover maneuver, trying to get back up to him. Does he have what it takes to get back up to him by turn 3? He doesn't look like he does. Nick Lavelle's been favoring that lower line, but he's going to follow Seth just a lane below. Oh, there he goes. Nick Lavelle now hunting down that bottom line, trying to get something, trying to find some grip as they come up to the checker, or come up to the the stripe. Get a little ahead of ourselves there. Man, Nick, that's the second time Nick's put it in the grass tonight off of turn 4, and he's talked about that. The pressure of being a leader, it gets to you, and it looks like it did as Seth Noel makes that pass. Mason Daddy Mangum, P3. Does he have what it takes to knock on the door for a P2 or a top 2 position? Coming to the stripe. These guys have 5 laps to go. These drivers are ready to find out who's going to bring this one home tonight. It's going to be down to these two. I don't think Mason Mangum's got much to run him down with. Ryan Worley, your top 4. John Long rounding out your top 5. These guys here, again, if they could just come home tonight with a top 5 position, that'd be a solid run for these two. Well, back to Seth Noel, Nick Lavelle. These guys not unaccustomed to winning races here at tomorrow's Racing League, putting on strong runs week after week, these two guys. Nick running that really high line, running that line that Seth has been running. As Seth moves down about a lane in 1 and 2. That last lap, Seth running about 2/100ths of a second faster as he's starting to pull away. 3 laps to go here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Seth and Nick running identical lines through 1 and 2. Mason Mangum coming out of it there just a little bit, trying to get caught up to the Nick Lavelle machine. Three-tenths behind for P3, or for P2. He's wanting to see if he can get up to the top 2 positions. 2 laps to go. Nick Lavelle's got to put something on. He's got to put on a clinic here. He's got half a second to make up, 5/10 of a second to make up that deficit that Seth Noel's put on him with just 2 laps to go. Seth Noel making another smooth run through P4, or through turn 4 here. He's going to take the white flag here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Mason Mangum making a move on Nick Lavelle, picking up a ton of time through the tri-oval. He's going to have 2 more corners to try to make something happen. Actually, it looks like he actually had a little bit of an issue getting off of 2 there. Bringing it to the stripe. For the win, Seth Noel. Tomorrow's Racing League. Race number 3 in the Xfinity B class cars here at Kansas Motor Speedway. Congratulations to our winner, Seth Noel. Finishing out your top 5, Nick Lavelle comes home P2 after putting it in the grass several times. Mason Daddy Mangum P3. Ryan Worley P4. Strong run for that guy, P5. 4 machine of John Long. Alex Brock P6. As our winner is doing donuts down in the infield there. Let's see if we can get him on the radio. There we go. I think we got him now. Seth, you got a copy?
I hear you loud and clear.
Hey, bud. Another impressive run tonight. You bring home the checkered. What happened to Nick there? He said earlier during the caution that to be the leader, you were under a lot of pressure. Did you feel that pressure tonight?
Hey, there's pressure up there. Car got really tight on the late run, and he just overdrove a little bit on the exit of 4 and just barely touched it. And when you touch the wall, you just dragged all the way in it.
Right. Well, it definitely looks like you had what it took to put it together tonight. You go home with a checker flag. Congratulations. And, man, continue running strong. It's fun to watch you guys run.
Thank you. Thanks for that.
Thanks, bud. So, another week in the books. Round number 3 of the tomorrow's Racing League B Xfinity season. Here on the sole provider of the broadcast for tomorrow's Racing League, Team Fitz Gaming. As Seth Noel burns it down along the tri-oval. We appreciate you watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow. Join the league, guys. You can be watching. You can be part of this amazing racing every week, Friday and Saturday nights. Team Fitz Gaming partners with tomorrow's Racing League to bring you this broadcast. Have a good night.